This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with guitarist Jonas Wolf and vocalist Fabienne Erni of the Swiss progressive metal act Illumishade. If I knew absolutely nothing about Illumishade, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Versatile.
It's the new hot shit.
I like asking that question because it does stump a lot of bands, because it's tough to put a label on your stuff and it's tough to do it without mentioning another band, right?
Yeah. It's cinematic Disney core.
Cinematic Disney. I like that. I'd say it versatile was definitely a good description for it. Just me hearing it for the first time, I'd say there's a lot of hard rock and heavy metal elements to it. Certainly cinematic, which is big over in Europe right now. And certainly you guys got some pop sensibilities too.
True.
And some ballads, of course.
Well, your new album, Another Side of You, it's your sophomore album, comes out on February 16th through Napalm Records. Was this album kind of a long time in the making to be released? Because I've seen a promotional single out about a year ago.
I think this album is really special in that sense that it's more like a collection of songs that's we're talking 2 years of time frame, kind of. And it all started without really having any plan in, like, we just wanted, after during this COVID time, we were like, okay, let's just do a few songs just because of the sake of music. We just wanted to do it. And then once we actually got a little bit more clear that we will sign with Napalm, here is the deadline, we will release a full-length album. Then of course it got a little bit more serious in that sense, where we really started to properly think about, okay, how many tracks do we need? What do we want? Still, it was where in the mountains was where the magic happens. We're Swiss, so we go to mountains, right? So yeah. Yeah. So and there we actually kind of finished the whole musical part to be ready to go into the studio for the last bit of the album, because, for example, Elegy, Hymn, Enemy, they were really recorded, I don't know, 2 years ago. So it's not like everything was recorded within a very short time. That's why also so many different people are involved in the album recording process.
When you recorded the album, were you able to do some of it in person as a band, or did you have to do everything file sharing back and forth?
There's no band takes on this album. Yeah, it's everything. Then again, I mean, it would be cool though. I mean, usually with this like modern takes on metal, usually you just stack the takes and the different instruments, so it's person by person usually. But actually I would like to do that for next, some songs like Fairy Tale, it would probably benefit from that even more, because then you get a band feeling, you get a band take that probably, I mean, I love it how it's on the record, but yeah, could be worth trying to go old school. And
Jonas, I know you and Fabi are the founders of the group. Are you the main songwriters as well on Another Side of You?
I think compared to the first album, this one is definitely more like a band product. Of course, the roots or like the biggest parts comes from us, but it's really here during this album, all the influence from all the different members just came into it, be it in for the arrangement work in the end, once let's say the skeleton is there of the song, but also there are songs like, for example, Cyclone, that completely come from Miriam's mind, and yeah, that's probably why also that started, and then it's a band thing. Everybody throws in ideas with their different influences. So Yeah, that's probably why also it turned out, I would say, more versatile in a way than the first one. Yeah.
But still, at the end of the day, we are the principal songwriters. You could still say that.
Yeah, I mean, you come up with, like, for example, I come up with a melody, piano. I send it to him. Jonas, do you think this is something? And then he hears already, and he throws away parts and just rewrites it. That was, for example, the case with.
Usually, almost.
Now, for example, there was the case with Enemy, for example. There was this, or Cloud. Let's say Cloud Reader. Cloud Reader was a classic, actually.
Well, yeah, I had to fight for it, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, for example, there I came up with this piano dum 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 dum, and with the melody, and he just kicked, for example, the pre-chorus fully, and you added your own, but then you took my chorus, and so on and so on. So it's always a little bit of a ping pong somehow, which is nice.
Yeah,
I like this.
that's how you go.
Well, let's delve a little more into Cloud Reader, because I think that is a song that kind of separates you from the pack. It has that pop sensibility, not just with the piano, but kind of the vocal style. Still has the hard edge guitar, but I feel like it could be an edgier Norah Jones song.
That's awesome. Come away with me.
That's nice.
What's the sunrise? Sunrise. Yeah, okay. Sunrise.
Yeah, that's a cool cover, actually.
I love Norah Jones, but yeah.
What inspired the lyrics for Cloud Reader?
Well, that's the only song that while writing and arranging the song, for some reason, this song, when I first heard like just the stuff Fabi did for it, it kind of grew on me. Like I just really loved the vibe it gave me, and I had a lot of fun doing the whole song, like doing the drum programming and guitars and just flesh it out. And the song was really dear to me from the moment it was kind of born. So I thought it's the only time on the record, but I for some reason I had the wish, or I felt like that I would like to give the song its lyrical direction, at least. Not like word per word, but I just thought if that's cool, and then I started talking about it with Yannick and Fabi. Yannick he writes a lot of lyrics next to Fabi in the band. It is it's a try, no, not try, but it's a song about finding your way in life, which is, it's like a classic topic. It's a big topic, and it also, of course, these days it involves the whole mental health thing, because if you open up your Instagram or your social media platform, it's flooded with a lot of a lot of content in that direction, which I think is a dangerous thing, because there's a thin line of probably what is helpful, what is not, what is, we could open that box. But the main thing, the main idea was to have lyrics that point towards that direction without trying to be preachy or be anything. It's more like, how can we be simple, not preachy, not cheesy, not too, like, too sugary or too. It was meant to be an uplifting song, like an uplifting hymn for this album, without being. It's not him, the song. And I think the cool thing with Yannick is, like, he's a very experienced lyricist in his own way, and his influences are more there. He's really into these neo folk songwriters, like Phoebe Bridgers, and very like a new breed of interesting songwriters, and I think they influenced him a lot. So I think he really succeeded in coming up with something that it has a touch of, still has a touch of Disney maybe, but it's still, if maybe you went through hard times, you can identify yourself with it a bit. I think it's trying to find a balance, and I hope he succeeded. That's what it is.
I feel like the whole album is sort of the internal condition of fighting the dark and finding your light in life. I feel like that's kind of what all these songs kind of delve with from the beginning to end.
Right, right.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
It is, but this time, I guess it's just way more. It is more personal. Like the first album was more. It's basically, yeah, maybe the topic's not too different, but it was more. It was more like a fantasy movie version of it, and now it's more like a modern, more personal version of it that is closer to the closer to humanity in a sense of, yeah, what we experience in life, what you go through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in the end, Illumishade, Dark and Light, that's, yeah, it's a classic topic, if you will.
You have this music video for him where you guys are playing by a river and a waterfall, and I would imagine getting all that stuff out there isn't as easy as it looks.
The water?
Getting your instruments out there.
I am kidding, yeah.
Actually, I mean, we're lucky to live in Switzerland, where the mountains are really close. So we were also lucky that Yannick knew somebody that has this amazing place. Okay, no, him was only outside, right? Almost.
Yeah.
Okay, but this place, we did actually Elegy and him in one weekend. So we stayed, like, our base was in this beautiful fabric company, old building, whatever. And then we just could go to the surroundings and could find all these spots. So we filmed this one with Jens de Vos. And he just went for a little trip around to see the different spots. And he was like, okay, with Jonas, we go there. With Yannick, we go there. It was the whole idea to have different sceneries, but with this colorful fog, we're all kind of in one as well. I don't know, like, oh, everything's coming together anyway, but all these different sceneries. Yeah, it was nice. It was cold. As always, it was just cold. Yeah.
The final track on the album, you sing it in your native Swiss German. Why did you make that decision?
Why?
But why? I had this idea some time ago that I really want to sing in a different language on the album as well. I mean, I have this experience with Helveti singing in Gaulish, and I just love how the voice changes, the tone changes depending on what kind of language you sing, with all the different vowels, consonants. It all shapes the sound in the end as well. So I just really felt like doing something in Swedish or Swiss German. And somehow we had this piano ballad there, lying there. We wanted to have it on the album. It sounded more like a bonus track. So then we thought in the end, why not, since it anyway sticks out a little bit, why not just do this one in a different language? Because somehow with all the other songs, we didn't feel it. It was not the right moment. I think I really want to do Swiss German metal. So so that's maybe for album number 3, but somehow it just felt right to do it for this song. And then just everything just fell into place also with Koen, then in the end, Koen Janssen joining, doing the whole piano arrangement. Yeah, I think it's a very nice team effort song in the end.
You sort of have this orchestral element running through the album, and that's due to band member, is it Miriam?
Yes.
Miriam Skal?
Yes.
Does she get the album after everybody's done their part and then she adds her orchestrations, or is it kind of something that's natural as you're putting it together?
Something in between us.
Yeah, exactly. I think mostly she adds her magic to it when more or less everything is settled, like the structure and everything. And I think for quite some songs you did it in the very end this time, really.
Yeah.
But also throughout the whole process, of course, we sometimes listen all together and everybody throws in ideas and things. So there, of course, she already influences it. But also there, for example, yeah, Cyclone, I mean, started with her mind and her world, her universe of sounds. So yeah.
Yeah, true. It varies to different degrees. Like because on this album I did quite some synth programming myself for basically it was meant to be pre-productional. And then you know how it is. Sometimes it's the same with recording a pilot vocal or recording a pilot guitar solo. It's sometimes it just has the sound or that energy you want,
Mm.
and then it doesn't really make sense to change it. It was like a song like a Riptide with those. I think those sounds are my sounds, and then sometimes, yeah, it's already the sound and the colors of the certain song are already there. So yeah, but then again, like as you said, like on this album, it's the first time that she started a song, like the whole thing
Mm.
with Cyclone, and then or I took it and added the Meshuggah part and the Pink Floyd part in the end. And
Mm. Mm. Mm.
This is your first album for Napalm Records. How did you end up signing with the label?
They contacted us actually, which I think was quite cool because we did the first one as a like do-it-yourself album. It was the right thing to do there. We did it with the crowdfunding and so on, but now we really, I don't know, we came to a place where it was like, I don't know, we cannot handle everything ourselves. Like, for example, this interview, we have it because of Napalm, and this is all this is great. This is great because in the end we're here to be musicians, and there is, besides having a label, there's I wouldn't even say it's less work. It's maybe even more because now it's kind of serious, right? So there is so much other things you need to handle, not even talking about the financial aspect, but also just all the other effort and work that you have to put in besides all the music. And it's very nice to have some certain support from another team that knows what they're doing in these certain aspects and themes, because there's so many different things you have to think about these days, especially I guess also with social media and things that needs to be done besides all the music. So and financially, of course, it helps in to a certain degree.
it does, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think by now it really manifested like itself that they proved to be a really good partner for us.
Mhm.
The new album, Another Side of You, is going to be released in multiple formats, and certainly Napalm is good at putting these things together as well. You have streaming, obviously, CD packaging, some great looking vinyls. I ordered the White Smoke one myself the other night. Is this your first time on the vinyl format?
It is, and we're excited about it. Cannot wait to see the whole artwork, like in this full size.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really cool.
yeah, that's gonna be really cool. We will have our own vinyl color for our own shop or when we play live, so it's gonna be nice as well.
What will it be?
Orange,
But I want
like the vinyl,
yeah, but White Smoke is pretty cool.
yeah, Napalm has it. Yeah, nah. It's cool. We can also at some point maybe. Anyway, also, and of course, it's quite cool. We didn't release the first album as a vinyl, so at some point we can throw this out as well. That's definitely on the plan. Yeah.
And speaking of great artwork that appears on your vinyl, you have some great artwork there. You also have some great artwork tied to this album with your singles that are streaming. Who is the artist that's responsible for all this artwork for this album and the singles?
I would say it's a trio,
Okay.
because I think the artworks came to be in different kinds of ways. So ranging from, for example, the main artwork for the album was like years ago. I don't actually know why, but we were sitting outside having lunch or something, and I was like, "Hey, I just feel like cranes could be a very majestic or nice symbol for artwork for the band at some point." Then it got lost again, and then we rediscovered it, and then we talked about it, and then we had a very good friend of the band, Vidic from Infected Rain, guitar player and main songwriter from from that band, who's an amazing guy and talented artist, have had him realize it. So that was kind of like the workflow. And then other times we were just, it was more like scribbles, or like, let's just try something. Or even Vidic was like, hey, I just tried something also for merchandise. As we speak, we're designing the US tour shirt, by the way. So we're gonna have American flags, buffaloes, chicken wings, burgers, and eagle, and bald eagle. No, but you know, sometimes it's just like a small, like it's a spark of an idea like Fabi had, and then just trying out something, and then sometimes it's with the music. You just if you have creative minds to work with, then sometimes it happens really fast. And I think Enemy was like that.
Oh, that was super quick.
It was like it, and I mean it's not you wouldn't really associate that with like Enemy. I mean, the video is way more, you know, with the mirror image of your like darker self. It's way more obvious, but the artwork is just it leaves room for interpretation if you want to find something. But also I think it's a really cool looking artwork.
Just felt right, kind of. Yeah. We saw it, just a few tweaks.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we're definitely very lucky to have this wonderful and super talented people around us.
You're currently out with DELAIN on their Dark Waters Over Europe Tour Act 2. From what I understand, this is your first ever round of live touring. How was opening night for you guys?
Great.
Opening night.
The first one. It was actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
It was in the Netherlands.
Uden.
Yeah. It was nice. We were like, wait a second, everything is running a little bit too smooth. Like timing wise, for example, sound check, everything was done. We're like, okay, this went a little bit too easy almost.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, I was a little bit worried singing wise because I was very sick. Like I had a huge cold and cough and things, and I couldn't sing. So it was like 2 days before the tour started, I actually started singing again, and I didn't know how it would feel to sing 45 minutes of Illumishade set. I mean, the songs are high, they're demanding. So yeah, so of course I was really nervous. We had a new live setup, like the guys really worked on it before with our front of house engineer. There were many new aspects where also we always played these one-off shows, so we never could really grow into it as a whole band as well. And this now, after playing 6 or 7 shows, it really feels so different, actually falling slowly into place.
True.
The movements, everything. I think everybody feels more confident now.
Yeah, your moves are pretty cool now.
Getting there. Yours too. You're so guitar finder.
I know. Intro to that was last year because we got to play with DELAIN, right? We got to play some one-off shows with them, so they knew us, and that helped us a lot because then they invited us back.
You got kind of a big trio of female-fronted acts coming on the 31st of January, where Xandria's joining you and DELAIN for a show, so you must be looking forward to that particular one.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a reunion because exactly that lineup was happening last year as well for some shows. So yeah, it will be a cool little reunion and a gathering of nice people.
Absolutely.
Mostly, I mean.
You're doing your first U.S. tour come the spring. You're going to be with I can't pronounce their name, and Visions of Atlantis.
KORPIKLAANI.
Yeah, KORPIKLAANI.
Yes.
Finnish folk metal masters. OG. Yeah. Are you coming to the show?
I might. You're kind of in the middle of the city. That's a little far away, but I'm going to try.
Oh,
Okay.
that would be awesome. Yeah, we're really, really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Super excited. And I mean, the album will be out, so we will be playing also quite some new songs, I guess. So that's going to be different than the one we're playing now, the set. So I don't know, just really looking forward.
Yeah, it's US is always great to tour for us. I mean, people are passionate, people
Yeah.
are like they're really happy to see you, to have you, and it's just good times,
Yeah.
really. I mean, from our experience with Helvetia, it has been remarkable, especially since we had, like last year, we had to do a tour without our lead singer, and Fabi handled all the lead duties, mainly like hosting, and we had the guest singers from the support bands doing the screaming parts. But the thing was that I thought was so like I because we didn't know what to expect, because it was very short notice, everything, and it was crazy. It was like like in the movies. And but the people were, from day one, they were, in the end, they were just like, this is like, it's been 4 years since you've guys been here, and it's just cool that you're back, and we're just happy to have you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so great about US and Canada folks. It's like, just, yeah, they're passionate about the music.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you today. The new Illumishade album is Another Side of You. Comes out February 16th through Napalm Records. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with KNAC.com today to let us know more about it. And I'm sure we'll see each other in the future, talk a little more.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. All right.